Hello everyone and welcome to the monthly recap for both December 2024 and January 2025. So this will be the first one for the year. It's a bit late because I've been just too busy. I did plan to make this earlier, but I kinda got some more plans that I wanted to finish and actually did manage to get them, and so I can actually include more stuff here. I have been doing quite a lot of stuff during January, but December was full of family stuff, which I will not be divulging here because that is unimportant for this kind of video. Regardless, I will be going also over another recap section here, which will be the stream games that I had a stream on the 4th of January, which I'm gonna use for some fun little recap stuff, but that's gonna be fun to edit. That's gonna be mostly highlighting the games that I tried, because I did a stream roulette kind of thing where I played a game for about an hour and then made a little kind of review game for it, like quick thoughts and opinions about it, and then switched the game with a run that was randomly decided. So yeah. That's going to be something that will be included here. So to break up the formula a little bit, I will be showcasing the games here, and from the stream themselves. I'll show you the title, you can find it in the timecodes, the name should be fairly obvious. I will edit in the gameplay and my own kind of review that I gave at the end, and hopefully that will be enough, and that will give you some kind of idea what I thought about them at that moment. Let's go to this scene and I'll shut that game down and I'll give you like a little quick recap for that game. So, Void's Vigil. That was really nice. I did very much enjoy that, like, quite a bit. It's, generally speaking, I very much gelled with that. So, yeah, very nice. It was like a bullet hell survivor game, like in a similar way to I forgot, Vampire Survivors. And generally, I don't really much care for Vampire Survivors itself. Not really my type of game, because I kind of want more control, and that game does have like a lot of control. Now I do see why people like Vampire Survivors. Of course, it has a very good purpose and it serves a very, very specific kind of niche. And I'm very happy that there is that kind of niche to be served, and they are getting they have a very good game for themselves. So that's good. That's not my type of thing. This one, I really quite gelled with that. Quite enjoyed that Void's Vigil. So yeah, that was, generally speaking, very nice. Now I do wonder, since it's still in early access, how much more there's gonna be in there, like the final finished product, because of course there seemed to be like some kind of campaign mode there, and I didn't actually see the second phase, like the boss on the second difficulty. So I wonder if it's changed, because the first difficulty was like very simple, easy, silly. Now it's very much a roguelike, not a roguelite, because there wasn't really all that much like progression in that kind of way, and I don't really count unlocks as meta progression, because it's not like that you can grind your way to victory. You just get more up. Not like you get more unlocks, but you don't get any like starting bonuses for the next levels. No, you get a lot of options that how you want to start levels, and that seemed like there's a lot of those different classes that were already available there, and that's very cool. I really did enjoy that. But still, it's kind of hard to say. I'm gonna have to play a bit more, because oh god, that mini card game there, which really did resemble like Triple Triad, and like I can't remember what the game in Final Fantasy IX was, but that card game, and that's very cool. That's not just actually very cool, but like actually kind of a problem, because that can really that can really accidentally take you with it. Similar with like everybody who has played Witcher 3 has a problem with Gwent. Not like as a bad game, but au contraire, it's something that everybody's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna, oh no, the world's dying anyway when I play a round of Gwent. And that's similar sort of thing there. And yeah, I really do like that quite a bit. So, let's move on to the spinner and decide the next game. Go to this thing and for now, I'll stop the count. So, man, Jusant. I don't have pets, but I do have plushies. I like that. That's really... That game was freaking adorable. It was really enjoyable. Of course, you have your own little critter there that you could pet, you could hug, play with them. That's always very adorable and that's fun. And that's an easy way to strike a chord with certain people. Now, the game itself is mostly just... It's kind of reductive to say that it's just climbing, because the climbing mechanics are kind of interesting. They are like pseudo-physics based, that you can use like momentum to carry yourself along. You need to jump, you need to worry about correct like places where you are climbing and like the different indentations on the wall where you can actually like grab onto, and you need to sometimes swing and take leaps of faith and stuff like that. It's really cool. And you need to like place beacons and you can use those to swing yourself and make yourself like pseudo checkpoints and need to worry about stamina and all that. And it's very like what you would expect it to be, in my opinion. And that's not a bad thing at all. Au contraire, mon ami, that's excellent. That really, really made the game like feel really unique, and it's very heavily focused on the world building. Of course, it looks very. I want to say pretty, even though the visual style is like very simplistic to say, but that's not a bad thing. That it has a very strong art direction, and it has a very, very heavy focus on the world building, the non-diegetic elements, and like environmental storytelling there, which really cemented it to be a really interesting experience there. I really quite love that. It really feels really intriguing to just see like everything that the environment has to offer and how the things have changed, and like have people talk about different times and how unique the world setting is in that manner. It's a bit of a shame that I now only played 1 hour, but I really did enjoy that 1 hour. So I'm definitely like, this has to bump up a couple, at least one bucket, because this is far too low. I really want to see how that story concludes there. I enjoyed it so much. It's very fun. Yeah, I really like that. I don't have much else to say. It's just very, very fun, very cute game, and it has a very intriguing premise to it, and the mechanics are very like solid for that and very unique. There are of course other games that do have like climbing to them, and climbing itself isn't exactly like unusual, but something that's like this heavily focused on rock climbing specifically is, I don't think there's any other games that accept like QWOP thing, which like the creator of QWOP made. There's another game that's, I can't remember the name of that, and it's more a frustration game rather than anything. Like this is like very specifically meant to be like enjoyable experience, and like the way that you control your momentum there and your climbing, it like feels that you're like gripping on stuff when you need to hold on to the triggers and they control each of your like arms specifically, and that kind of like connection between you, the controller, and the game element is a very unique way to tell the story, and like get yourself to relate to the character in the way that you actually like are doing. It's not a lot of physical effort, but it is something, and it gives like a very unique type of connection. So yeah. I'm just like trying to process all of it because it's quite unique. Anyway, that was very enjoyable. That was so good though. Really fun. So yeah, I guess we'll move on to the next one. That is very interesting. It's very unique. It kind of very heavily brings to mind the receiver, in the way that it has like maximalist reload controls, in that way that you need to like even slot your own bullets into the chambers, and you have only 4 magazines that you need to preload them, like fill them with bullets on yourself, and that's kind of cool. That's pretty unique. I don't know, that's like, I kind of do like receiver. It's very like maximalist in its controls, and that's a unique way to go around game design and make a very interesting kind of a unique challenge to it. And while I personally did not enjoy that much, I'm gonna test it out later. Now I know there's still like a lot of time left in the timer there, but that's gonna be good enough for now. So, that's, I don't know, that was nice. It's nice, but I don't really just gel well with that game. But I do want to test more, because it seems like it seems very unique. Now, I think this was one of the like kind of interesting games that I got for €1, which, you know, that is a thing. But it is unique enough that it felt like it's worthwhile. It's very much worth the investment, for me at least. So yeah, it's interesting. Quite. Yeah, I really liked it. So next up, I want to talk about a certain series that a lot of you watched, probably, I hope, and I certainly did watch. With my friends, we kinda wanted to do this for a while, but we kinda wanted to watch it in one sitting, but we did it in like 3 sittings. And that is Arcane Season 2, obviously. I was very excited for it, and we had to kinda time it perfectly so that we all had time to watch it, because it does take quite a long while to watch one act at a time. That's a lot of time, like 3 hours or so. And I personally really enjoyed Season 1, and there are things that are always to be criticizing about it, but I very highly enjoyed Season 2, even if there are certain aspects that could have been better, of course, but that holds true for every kind of media. There's nothing perfect, and there's always something to be improved, and not everybody is going to like it, and I'm quite sure there's been a lot of people who have not enjoyed it, or especially not as much as they enjoyed Season 1. I personally did enjoy it more than Season 1. I really did, but that's mostly because of personal preferences, which characters were highlighted, and where it went. Now, I'm not going to spoil literally anything here. I liked it, and you are free to not like it, and if you do want to leave something, don't try not to spoil too much, like if you want to share your opinions about it, of course, because I'm sure there is definitely people who have not seen it. I'm itching to watch it with another friend, because I know they will enjoy it a lot, but I also want to hear their opinions on it, so that will be very exciting, and I'm definitely gonna rewatch it with like a bit more focus given to not just enjoying the series, but like giving a bit more critical eye and looking at some fun little details and seeing all the interesting little details that were given there. So yeah. So this will be a very short section that I'm gonna just mention. I've been reading it like all the time when there's a new chapter. It's still one of my favorite mangas. Like this needs to be anime. No, it doesn't. I kinda do want to see an anime for it, but I've been enjoying reading it just so much because it has such a cool art style, and the story is really unique, and it's so interesting, and that's of course Gachiakuta. I've been showing one panel here, which out of context doesn't mean anything for anyone, and it's, if you have not read Gachiakuta, it's hard to recommend it, kinda, except that the art style is so wild and unique and creative that I really would recommend that you give it a shot. It's not going to be for everyone, that's for damn sure. I think it's very, very specific tastes who will enjoy this, but my god, the art style is so good and it just works so well with the story. It's such a, once again, a very unique series and a beautiful, gorgeous one at that. Then I want to talk about certain games that I've been playing and specifically played enough that I can dare to talk about them here. And I'm going to start with something that I was very excited for, and that is Yog-Sothoths Yard. And I personally really like, of course, Lovecraftian horror. I mean, the stories themselves are fine, but let's just say it's obvious what H.P. Lovecraft was. His personality is quite visible in the stories, for better and for worse, but they are unique, and of course the mythos that was created and the new kind of genre that he helped birth is something I hold very dear. I very much enjoy cosmic horror intensely. Yog-Sothoths Yard gave promise of eldritch horrors and monster waifus and stuff like that, and I was disappointed. Now, most of the story is told in visual novel format, which I am like a very huge fan of. I like visual novels quite a bit. And it's also divided into hotel management sections, which are pretty decent, I would say. It's not the most like elaborate construction for a management team. It's very, very easy to like min-max and just like break the game. However, it is like decently entertaining in the gameplay, the management sections. It's nothing that's gonna blow you away, but it will kill you time, and it's going to be kind of soothing for some people. And while that is fine, it wasn't nearly enough for me. So I was hoping for the eldritch horrors and the story to be more captivating, and to be sure, it was almost there. And I would have really enjoyed it if it went deeper. So the story does have, of course, Lovecraftian horror to it. A lot of good cosmic horror stuff to it, and some really, really nice atmosphere. And in the technical side of things, the musicscape, the music and the sound effects and the visual sections, they are all just fine, barely fine. However, I am not a huge fan of the character designs. They are far too, like, kind of generic and cute and moe for me. Not exactly moe, but like, I wanted actual monster humanoid creatures. Not even humanoid, I wanted more monstros. And it all just ended up being just too human. Just far too vanilla for my tastes, too boring, which is a huge shame because there was so much missed potential. Now I will admit, I did not finish the game. I played it for like over 10 hours, over 12 hours I think, and I was left wanting more. And I can actually attribute this quite intensely to a certain annoying factor, which is not that this was made by Chinese. That's freaking whatever. That doesn't matter because the story could be better written, but it was translated via machines, and it did a very, very poor job conveying the story. There is so many, like, some sections of the translation are acceptable. There is no localization. That's just fine. That is something that you'll have to, that players have to accept. Localization is not always done, and that's even just totally fine by my standards. However, first of all, in the gameplay sections, the UI breaks. It doesn't show you even half of the text that is in the descriptions and the item functionality, and that is not acceptable. If the machine translation makes your game not functional or barely functional, like it hides the information that you're trying to convey, that is a bad translation. That is unacceptable. That should not be okay. And in the visual novel sections where the story is, at least have a proofreader, not just like some certain like subjugation. I think it's subjugation, whatever. Like how you use words. There's a lot of problems with the writing done via machine translation because it just is broken in many sections. It doesn't convey the story properly. A lot of it is something where it just uses some very, very weird translation, which is obviously like a saying or some unique turn of phrase, which just does not translate via machines, and it made it very, very, very annoying to parse through the text. And that is so regrettable. I wanted to enjoy it more, but it just could not hold my intrigue long enough for me to just like actually learn Chinese and just reading with it that way, because it's just I am so sorry, I'm getting annoyed. I wanted to like this so much, but the machine translation literally ruined this game for me. It made it so annoying. I was given a promise and it was betrayed, and that makes me so sad and disappointed and mad. But I think some people could enjoy this game as a chill, relaxing, like, hotel management. I just couldn't. I was left so disappointed. Next up, I'm gonna talk about what should have been the winner of the Game Awards last year, and that is Balatro. When Balatro was first previewed and, like, I think it dropped, I don't know if it dropped in early access. Anyway, I tried it very early on when it was released, and I was like, okay, I can see the draw of this game. I can see why people would like this, and I see what it has done well. And I was like, okay, not my cup of tea. And in this January I installed it, played it quite a while, and realized this is going to be a drug for me, and I'm gonna have to quit it immediately before I get too addicted, and it has been a constant pain in my neck, because it is too good for me. It is something that is far too addictive. So Balatro, definitely one of the game contenders for the best game of the year last year. Definitely should have been the winner for the Game Awards, but hey, not my game of the year. But it's good. Obviously it's very good. It's just too addicting for me, so I cannot keep it installed in my computer, because god damn it, I'm just gonna keep playing it. I can't get anything down, so I cannot keep it installed. It's just the perfect drug for me. Then I want to highlight a very short little fun game, and that is Digseum, which is a kind of an idle game in a way, but not exactly. You don't need to waste time just letting it run on the background. The game doesn't take that long. It took me like 2 hours to beat it, with my kind of active playing, but mostly just like idling away while watching a video. But it was a very, very fun little not a clicker game per se, but a fun little side distraction. Go and check what the Steam page looks like. It's pretty cheap. It didn't take me long to 100%, and it was fun. Worth the money, worth the time. It amused me, and I'm definitely looking forward to what the developer will make next. This was definitely a very good showcase and a training ground for their future talents. A fun, perfectly fine game. So, I honestly, I enjoyed this far more than I did Shadow of 4. Middle-earth Shadow 4, which is not even that high of a bar to cross, but still, it's something to say. it's a very, very reasonable game. And then the final game that I will be talking about is one of, once again, my favorite experiences in quite a while. This was one of the games that I was in the first stream of the year. I was kinda... It was one of the options, but I decided to, screw it, I'll just try it on my own, and that is Picayune Dreams. I'm gonna be showing you some footage of the background, and that's possibly going... I don't think it's gonna spoil anything that quickly. It's gonna showcase some of the weapons that you will unlock, but that's not gonna be that important, I think. I'm also gonna link a hidden video that will have the full playthrough of that run, if you want to see it completely. I don't know, I haven't yet recorded it, so I don't know if it's gonna be a successful run, but you know. So Picayune Dreams. It's a... not exactly a survivor-like, it's more of a bullet heaven was described, but bullet hell. Bullet hell, bullet heaven, like wave-based roguelite, light, quite specifically, shooter. It has some minute meta progression, and it has a very, very, very unique theming and visual design to it. It has a really, really rocking, very fun, very trance-like soundtrack to it, which does support very well the mood which it conveys to me, which is like a early 2000s, like very, very early, or very early 2000s, late 90s, vaporwave, early internet kind of feeling to it, which is something, it doesn't really use the imagery all that well, or that imagery, or it doesn't use the visuals or that much, but that is how it feels to me to like play and select the power-ups and just like, it might be because I like grew up with some DOS prompts, and that and the like pseudo code that it showcases is so much, it just gives me such a good vibe, and I just absolutely adore this game. It's so much fun. The visuals are absolutely one of the biggest selling points for me, but the music, I really love the music. And then the biggest shocker of all was that the story, the actual story itself is holy I am shocked beyond belief how great of a story they were able to convey in a like freely controlled rogue experience, and it's so good. It is really freaking good. The story is something that was the highlight, the greatest highlight of this game for me. I really loved it because of many factors which I will not be spoiling here. I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible, so there's not gonna be any spoilers in the gameplay section as well. Go and check the full gameplay in the description if you wish. But yes, a very, very unique roguelike, wave-based. It feels derivative or derogatory to call it a Vampire Survivors-like, because it's not. I don't personally all that much enjoy Vampire Survivors, and the best way to make it more interesting for me personally is to give you more control. This game feels more closer to Toho in the best possible ways, and that is what makes it like such a good experience. And I'm so happy I started this game off, this year off, with such a banger, because this is going to be encased in my memories for a very, very long time. It's it is something else completely. Then for the final section, I would like to talk about the two Arcane LCG campaigns that we finished during the months of January 2025 and December of 2024. Now, the first one I will be talking about will be a campaign, Edge of Earth, which I played. Now, as a reminder, we always have 3 players, and I am going through a cycle of going through every investigator in alphabetical order, kind of. There's gonna be a difference rather soon, but anyways. Now, the one that I played Edge of Earth with was Ashcan Beat, and I'm not going to dwell too long on him. He is very fun to play, but it's very simple and it's easy, and he's just stupidly powerful. Because of the way that Ashcan Beat and the Duke works, you basically always have 4 actions. 4 in every stat. And that's just very powerful. It's kind of boring. It's very powerful. It's not boring. It's pretty fun because you do have to have a special kind of how you want to actually like be more effective, but you're always going to be effective at doing something. And yeah, that's nice. That's always very, very good. I specifically did not know exactly what I want to do, so ultimately I ended up with the last few scenarios. I kind of just decided that just screw it and used Deja Vu and some exile cards to have fairly effective extra few turns. Just remove some doom and buy our people some extra turns. Edge of Earth is a pretty fun campaign. We did really, really well. We had an extraordinarily lucky final finale, and we managed to get an ending that my friends had never seen before, and that's good. It was really fun, interesting, and I just generally do like Edge of Earth quite a bit. Now Duke was Ashcan Beat / Duke. We usually called him Duke because frankly the dog does more than Beat himself. So yeah, it's a fun character. It's pretty cool to play with that, so it's fine. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Then the final thing that I will be talking about here is that we played another campaign, and that was the Dunwich Horror, I think the campaign name is. Anyway, Dunwich campaign, which is one of the earliest, if not the earliest, the first actual campaign that was released for Arcane LCG, and I played Bob Jenkins. Now, I am not very keen on having this kind of playstyle, because I just didn't feel very comfortable with it at the beginning. However, it very soon became apparent that the extra action that Bob has, that it is very, very powerful. I personally decided to go with because the unique weakness requires or kind of wants you to have more resources, I decided to go with a big money build, which this is the first time I ever went with it, and the central card, the central most important card piece for this of course was the Black Van, which is just extraordinarily powerful. It's so freaking strong, and I had it almost always completely online, and that is due to like few cards. Now most importantly, there is a card that I haven't ever seen before, which was really powerful, and that is embezzled funds, embezzling, kind of just getting more money for your future turns. And that was really interesting to try and embezzle as much money as you could for the next scenario. And it turned out really well. I also some useful cards like Shotner's Catalog, which basically just was like 5 money, except your friends could use it, but it was only for like items, but I played a lot of items, so it's fine. I kind of was mostly just doing some investigating, just getting more clues, and that worked out reasonably well. So yeah. But big money build. First time I tried it, it went pretty well. It's pretty nice. I haven't tried it before. I think I do want to. I'm most certainly going to try it again, because at some point when I get another rogue who is just going for that kind of style. So I know Bob Jenkins has a survivor, but he can only take later on some leveled up rogue cards, which are pretty good. So this was the first time I tried big money build. It went very well. I liked it. It's very unique. It's very fun. I really did enjoy it quite a bit. And of course there was some of these unique cards, so that's also nice. This is like a whole new playstyle for me, and I did quite like it. Now the thing that was kind of annoying is that Dunwich isn't exactly a good campaign for it's old and its age shows in the worst possible ways, but it was still fun, mostly because I do enjoy spending time with my friends, and of course, Arkham LCG, even at its worst, it's still really, really good. So, you know, mostly because the game is good, I always have fun. So, unfortunately, I do not have an artist to highlight this time around, so this is all I have. And I will just say, hopefully this isn't taking too long for me to edit, because I would like move on to other things as soon as possible. But for now, I thank you all very much for watching. I'll hope to see you in the future. Have a great day and stay awesome. I'm going to start streaming as soon as possible. And as often as possible as well. School is going quite well, so thank you all very much. Have a great day.